This
Afternoon,
conference
everyone.
will now be recorded.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Um, my name is Ahmad, and I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today. I do have my colleagues with me from IGI Global, Brittany and Nick. Today, we will talk about IGI Global Database brought to you by Masader. But before we start, let me give you a very short introduction about Masader. Masader is the brand name of Oman Virtual Science Library, which gives you access to very important and vital information resources from variety of publishers, including IGI Global. Um, let me show you how to get into this Masader portal because it's made very quite simple to access. All you need to do is to go to masader.om. I repeat, masader.om, and here you will be able to get access to variety of resources. If we go to the resources list over here, here we will be able to search and browse a variety of content brought to you by Masader, including the IGI global database. Now, since most of you are distance learning and not attending the campuses, um, we do have the off-campus access page over here. If we go there, we will be able to get access to your content while you are at home. With a very simple click, I go to IGI Global, and it will be there. Now I'll leave it to my colleagues at IGI Global, who will be giving more information and more explanation about IGI Global and how it can be very helpful for you in your research. Brittany, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Let me go ahead and reshare my screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Haynes, and I am the Sales and Marketing Coordinator at IGI Global. And I'm going to take you through today the content, a little bit of background information about IGI Global, just so you can be aware of our company, the content that is relevant to you, as well as a quick run through and demo training of how to utilize our platform and search our content. So just a little bit of background information about IGI Global. We were founded in 1988, so we've been an international academic publisher for a little over 30 years now. We are headquartered in Hershey, Pennsylvania in the US, and we mostly publish reference books and scholarly journals. And you currently have access to a collection of our scholarly journals, which I will go over here in a bit. Our research mostly focuses on fueling innovation and inspiring change. You'll notice we publish a lot of emerging topics as well as niche and underrepresented topics. We were also started by an academician, Dr. Mehdi Kajrapour, so we are fully integrated into the needs of researchers as well as academicians. Just a little bit more about our content. We do currently offer over 175 scholarly journals, over 6,000 books, and we have a top-rated InfoSci platform, which I will showcase to you in a bit to show you how you can actually access our content then. All of our research does go through the double-blind peer review process. And I'm going to hand this over to Melissa to talk a little bit about our different subject areas. Melissa is our head of acquisitions. She'll go down through some of the relevant content for you all.
Good afternoon. So as Brittany, passed it off to me, I am Melissa Wagner. I'm the editorial director here at IGI Global. So basically what that means is I am very involved in all of the content that is coming through IGI Global. So I directly oversee the acquisitions department, which is the department that brings in all of the new content. And so I wanted to talk through the different subject areas that we offer, the different publications that we offer. I know that most of you are students who are attending. So this is very beneficial for you just to understand, the type of content that you could possibly find through the platform that you may or may not have access to, as well as some of the opportunities that, we offer for publishing. So just to start off, we do offer 11 different subject areas. Now I know that you have complete access to, our computer science, our security, science and engineering journals right now. And in addition to that, we also offer, business, education, environmental science, government and law, library science, media and communications, medicine, and social sciences. You can go ahead to the next slide. Okay, so the different publication types that we do have both journals and books. Now our journals, they run on a schedule where some can be quarterly, which means that they're published 4 times a year. We do have some journals that have moved to bi-monthly, which means that they publish 6 times a year. And then we do have some that are on a semi-annual basis, which means that there would be 2 issues per year for those journals. We currently have around 180 plus journals that are offered, and they are across all 11 of those subject areas. Now on the book side, of course, we're publishing across all 11 subject areas again. We offer both authored and edited formats. What's really unique about our books is that we can publish them extremely quickly. So, other competitors that are out there, other publishers, typically for a book, it can take them about 2 years to actually get it published. So that's 2 years from when somebody were to actually introduce the concept to the publisher, then the development of the actual book takes that 2 years, and then finally it's released to the public to be able to use. And so, what we recognized was that can oftentimes, make that research pretty outdated, just, nowadays with how fast technology moves, with how fast these research areas are moving and the advances that are coming out all the time. We realized that for books to be sustainable, for books to be able to be used like they should, they need to be able to be published quicker. So most all of our books are published in under a year, with some being as soon as 6-7 months in some cases, depending on how far along they are at the time that they are contracted. So our books and our journals are actually very much alike. Books, you're just going to have a little bit more in-depth of chapters. You're going to have one specific book that's around, it's going to have 15 to 20 to 25 chapters all around that specific topic. It's going to give you a very good comprehensive overview. Journals are going to be more of those, advanced studies, reviews, really in-depth research papers. So that's a little bit about the difference. But all of our publications, no matter what, go through a double-blind peer review process. We are a full member of the Committee on Publication Ethics, COPE. So we do follow the strictest, the highest, standards for ethical publishing that are currently in the industry. And we do keep up with that to make sure that we are always publishing only vetted information. And Brittany, you can go ahead to the next slide, please. So I just wanted to talk through very quickly about some of our subjects. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. But the first subject is our business and management. And I will point out that all of the publications that are on each of these slides, most of the journals you'll have access to in, specific of the subjects. The books are also all ones that you guys have shown interest in. And some of them are also from individuals who are from Oman. So I wanted to highlight some of those. But if you see anything that's either on a slide or that, as you're working through our platform, looking through it, if there's any publication that you see that would be beneficial to you, that perhaps when you try to click into it, it says that you don't have access, you can always, recommend to get access to those publications. So business and management, I will also say that all of our subjects have a very, technological spin to them too. Because as when you're looking at, say, artificial intelligence no longer just fits into computer science. There's this massive, movement in research right now where everything is becoming much, much more cross-disciplinary. And that's the same with our books and journals as well. We publish very cross-disciplinary. So artificial intelligence, you're not going to see stuck just into our computer science subject anymore. It's going to range across all of our subjects. So, in the business management side, artificial intelligence shows up more under, business intelligence, business information systems. But we also do offer, human resources and management, hospitality, travel management, management science in general. So all of the leadership, corporate social responsibility, which has become huge right now. Making sure that manufacturing and all the production that's being made is environmentally friendly. And of course, entrepreneurship. And I will go on to the next subject, which is computer science and information technology. So this, you would have complete access to all of our journals in computer science. This is where you're going to see a lot of that software engineering, software development, end user computing. You're going to see just computational science, computational intelligence in general. So all the cloud computing, edge computing, fog computing, biologically inspired computing, and of course, anything artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, cybernetics, robotics. It's all going to be under this subject. And like I said, you have complete access to all of those journals that are in this subject currently. The next subject is going to be our education subject. So this one, it's going to be everything to do education. So you're talking online remote learning right now, educational administration, educational reform. We do K through 12 education, early childhood, and then adult education, higher education. And like I said, we cover everything from just curriculum development in classroom to actually distance learning, online learning. And I just did want to point out, we have this book, Handbook of Research on Curriculum Reform Initiatives in English Education, that is by two editors who are from Oman. They are from Sultan Qaboos University. And we're really excited about that book. That book is coming out actually this year. Our next subject is going to be environmental, agricultural, and physical sciences. These journals you will have access to. So environmental science it's going to be a lot of the green technologies, the earth sciences, hydrology. You also see a lot of nanotechnology actually in this subject area. A lot of bioremediation, a lot of microbiology. The next subject is going to be government and law. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just anything to do with, and it's international government and law, so it's not, just a specific region. Usually it's something that's more on an international scale. And so you'll see a lot of electronic government, policy reform, emergency and disaster management is going to be also under the subject. But as you can see, from even like the book that's on this slide, Regulatory Aspects of Artificial Intelligence on Blockchain, it's not, just specifically talking about, some specific government in some specific country. You're also looking at, internet law, putting regulatory aspects on privacy. And so then the next subject is library and information science. This one is going to be a little bit more niche. It is a smaller subject of ours. It's going to be primarily just based in libraries, but also covers some knowledge management, some information retrieval, information systems specifically used for research and for library resource dissemination. And then the next subject is going to be media and communications. So media and communications it has two sides to it almost. One side is the very technical side of networking, telecommunications. You'll see a lot of Internet of Things is placed into media and communications because it's all that sensor technology. 5G networks oftentimes ends up in media and communications as well. And then on the flip side, you have some more of that non-technical part of media and communications, which is like your journalism, and then actual communication theory, a little bit of linguistics, and communication studies. The next subject is going to be medical, healthcare, and life sciences. This is anything to do with medicine. So like I said, again, you're going to see a lot of artificial intelligence showing up in the medicine subject now. A lot of biomedical engineering, biomedical technologies, medical technologies in general. You'll see a lot of nanotechnology placed back into this subject as well. And then, of course, there's just a lot of focus on treatment, diagnosis, predictive technologies, and then so a little bit of public health will also be in this subject. Then the next subject is going to be science and engineering. So this again would be a subject that you would have access to all of the journals that are currently being published in science and engineering. Pretty straightforward. It's going to cover every single engineering discipline that's out there. So, it's material science, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer engineering. But then we also do cover a little bit more of the sciences. So you also have physics, mathematics. They will also be under this subject. And then we have security and forensics, which you'll also have access to these journals. Security and forensics is going to be a lot of information security and privacy. And that's the big topic right now. So that's a lot of what's going under there. But you also see some digital crime, some criminology, criminal science, cryptography, and then also, again, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And then the final subject is going to be social sciences and humanities. This is going to be something that encompasses a lot of the more general gender and diversity, ethics and law, social responsibility, the human aspects of technology. And that's something that I did want to bring to your guys' attention because I did see that there was a lot of turnaway reports, what we call it, where, there was a lot of attempts to access journals and publications that were placed under social sciences and humanities. And a lot of those had to do more with human-computer interaction, end user computing. So I did want to bring that to your attention that, under this subject is where you're going to find a lot of those disciplines. So if you're looking for a little bit more of that human side of technology, it's going to actually be placed under social sciences. And then I would just like to say, obviously, like I said before, everything's peer reviewed, but we also are very highly indexed. So both of our books and journals are constantly put up for, indexing in major indices. And some of those include, the Web of Science, and that includes the flagship indices, so SSCI, SCIE, and then ESCI, which is like their emerging index, which everything goes into first. We also are highly indexed through Scopus, and along with Scopus, EI Compendex, and EI Compendex specifically a little bit more for our engineering publications. But then also, we're indexed through PsycInfo, through InSpec, through ERIC, which is, everything to do education, and then also in all of the normal abstracting lists like CAPLs. And then I did just want to also point out that we do open access publishing. So we have both gold open access and hybrid open access models that we operate under. The gold open access, that is for our journals, and we currently have 32 journals that are gold open access. Gold open access meaning that the entire publication is open access. So, any article that is published in those journals, it will have to be open access by the time it is published. So they are freely accessible. So you would be able to go onto the platform right now and be able to access all of the content. We did retroactively open a few of the past issues. So usually around like 2019, 2020 content is open right now. And then everything moving forward, starting in 2021, will be open as well. And it's open immediately. So as soon as those articles are accepted, they are available. So it's fast, research that still goes through that double-blind peer review process. It is vetted, so it is good research, very, very fast-moving, very emerging. And then we also do hybrid open access publishing. So that's for the rest of our about 140 journals, all operate under the hybrid open access model. That means that if you're publishing in a hybrid open access journal, you get to choose whether you want to do open access or whether you want to do traditional publishing. And so it's a hybrid. So in both gold open access and hybrid open access, there is an article processing charge that's associated with it. We do have one platinum open access journal, which means that its APC charge is actually covered by outside funding. Like the institution that the editor is from actually funds that journal for them. So it's completely free to publish in. But for all other open access journals, right now there is an article processing charge. It differs by the journal. It'll say it right on the journal's webpage. And so that article processing charge has to be paid by, the author themselves or a funding body. And so, obviously understanding that, it is a little bit sometimes difficult to secure funding or try to find those funds for open access publishing. We do try to help out as best we can, and so what we did was put together a read and publish program that does help you guys to be able to publish open access in journals or books if you wish. And I will pass it actually back over to Brittany, and she's going to talk a little bit more about that program and how you guys can benefit from it.
Sure. So everyone with the ministry does have access to some of the open access fee waivers that Melissa was discussing. How this works is essentially a library or an organization invests in IGI Global's databases, and then what we do from there is we create a matching fund of open access fee waivers that faculty, students, staff at that institution or entity can then utilize for open access publishing with IGI Global. You would submit an article under open access to one of our scholarly journals, either hybrid or full gold, and then the peer review process, that double-blind peer review process that Melissa was discussing, would be conducted. The article would then be accepted or rejected. If it is accepted, we can notify you of the existing OA fee waiver initiative, and then the author can decide if it's a hybrid journal to publish under OA, utilize that waiver, or if it's a full gold OA journal, they can utilize that waiver as well, and that would be deducted from the overall APC fund for the ministry. If it's rejected, of course, no APC will be utilized because then it would not move forward in the publishing process. So as far as what you currently have access to, you do have access to our journal's collection of computer science, security, and information technology from the copyright year 2000 to 2021. So this is a fairly comprehensive collection that includes all of the journals in our subject areas of computer science and IT, security and forensics, as well as environment, science, and engineering. All of our e-titles or digital titles include multi-user licensing at no additional charge. So any number of you could be accessing this content through a platform at the same time, no additional cost to you or your library. We do offer full text PDF and HTML viewing that allows, that has no DRM. You can copy paste directly from the platform. There's also printing capabilities. So just a couple of benefits and features for researchers, for those of you who are accessing this content. As I mentioned, HTML and PDF versions are available of the content you are accessing. We have full book and journal issue download. There's no DRM, so as I mentioned, you can copy, paste, and print as needed directly from the platform. We have that multi-user licensing at no additional charge. We have an advanced search engine, as well as popular citation tools that offers you different options such as MLA, APA, to copy and paste the different citations for either the article you are looking at or the full journal. We also have no embargo of content, so you'll notice the electronic content is available typically months in advance of print. I know that a lot of you with us today are students, but if there are any librarians, we do have librarian-specific friendly features that includes persistent URLs, as well as Counter 5 compliant usage statistics, free MARC records, and we can integrate with your discovery services. So if there are any librarians who need librarian administrative access to pull Counter 5 reports, or if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us or Ahmad, and we can set you up with that information. There's also archival access for our journal content and no maintenance or service fees. To move along to our platform and how you'll actually access the content, we do have different searching options, basic, advanced, and expert search that allows you to find exactly the content you're looking for. And I'll kind of run down through how to utilize our platform here in just a moment. To actually access the content on our InfoSci platform, you will go to the link that's showing up on the screen currently. So that's igi-global.com/gateway. It's important to have the /gateway. If you just go to igi-global.com, that is just our website and our online bookstore, and you won't actually be able to access the content that you have access to through the ministry. So I'm going to actually share my screen real quick. You should now be able to see, this is currently our website. So if you go to igi-global.com, you can see, you can actually search our store, everything like that, and you'll see the search bar up top. However, as I mentioned, you'll want to do the /gateway, and it will actually take you to our InfoSci platform. So you can see it'll look like this. I know earlier Ahmad was sharing a screen and it looked like this. You can search all of the content that you have access to, as well as attempt to access other content, make requests, that sort of thing. So in order to use our platform, you can actually go and search for whatever content you're looking for. Once this loads, you'll be able to see kind of how our search function works. So here you can type any keywords or ISBNs, ISSNs for your journals, anything like that in the top search bar. And you have different options. So there's the basic where you can just type that in. Advanced, it's taking a bit to load, but you can even weigh once you get up to expert different terms and how much focus you want to put on the terms you are searching for. So here you can see in advanced, you can actually type in full text, author, multiple items. And then once the expert loads, sorry, my internet's a little slow today. You can actually see where you can weight the different terms you're looking for. So let's say you're looking for something that covers artificial intelligence, big data. You can actually put in artificial intelligence and then actually weight it to how much importance you would like to place on that term. You can see down here, you'll see your search results. Now this will show up, unless you specify otherwise, you can actually see articles as well as chapters, full books, and then full journals. So if you want to look at information just owned by your institution, you can click that on the right-hand navigation. You can see content you own if you've purchased IGI Global content yourself, as well as complementary content and open access content. So you can filter accordingly. You can also search by different content types. So in your case, if you're looking for the information you want that you have access to through the journal e-collection. You can look at journal issues, journals, individual journal articles. Availability, you can see new releases and forthcoming titles. You can also search by copyright year. Subject, as Melissa mentioned, you have access to our computer science, our environment, our science and engineering, and our science, security and forensics subject areas for the journal collection, and even different categories if you're looking for specific aspects or trending topics within the subjects you're searching. And then finally, databases. You can actually search by the database that you own in this section. Sorry, I was just pulling up that. And then up here, if let's say you want to search for something, we'll go to a basic search and you're looking for something in artificial intelligence, since a lot of the subject areas that the ministry owns has artificial intelligence and touches upon that area, you can actually go ahead and type that in. It'll go ahead and do the search for you, and then I'll show you actually how you can open up the content. Let's say we're looking at individual journal articles, which you would indicate on the right-hand side navigation, and then it'll pull up your results. So let's say this first article, you want to go ahead and click on that, and then you can actually access it through full text PDF, or you can do full issue download if you have access to the full issue. You can even then check out the full journal if you click on this link that's hyperlinked here. You can see the abstract as well as related articles. So you can actually click on this and go to the full text PDF and view that. As I said, you can copy and paste directly from there. So I can answer any questions as far as the demo of our InfoSci platform. Otherwise, we also have Melissa with us who can answer any questions about the open access publishing, the content in our different 11 subject areas. And then we also have Nick Newcomer with us who can address any other questions about IGI Global. So at this point, we'll go ahead and move into our question and answer section. You can either type them in the chat, unmute yourself, give everyone a few minutes just to think and either type that in. Okay, no questions so far. If there are any questions, you can always contact Ahmad or IGI Global directly. I can provide our contact information as well, and we can answer any of those follow-up questions. I also did record this session that we can provide as well if you want to reference back to it. Let me just check. There's another message in the chat. Okay. Ahmad, did you have any other closing remarks that you would like to include? Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. As I said, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us directly or to Ahmad or at Masader, and we can move from there. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yes, of course.